Hello and welcome. Tonight, stakeholders in the justice sector gather in Lagos insist there is need to commit to immediate institutional reforms to tackle issues of widespread corruption and integrity deficit in the sector. Female lawyers appeal to the federal government to fish out those responsible for the murder of the former treasurer of the Abuja branch of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mediatrics Chigbo. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, and his defense counterpart, General Christopher Musa, agreed to work together to tackle Nigeria's security challenges. The U.S. President Donald Trump announces plans to impose a 10% tariff on all or any goods exported to the United States from the UK, Denmark, and other European countries.
On sports news tonight, Nigeria Super Eagles secure record-extending 9th Cup of Nations bronze medal with a dramatic 4-2 penalty shootout victory over Egypt at the Stade Mohammed V in Casablanca.
Stakeholders in the justice sector need to commit to immediate personal and institutional reforms to tackle issues of widespread corruption and integrity deficit in the sector. These were some of the views expressed by participants at the 22nd anniversary of the Chief Gani Fawemi annual lecture hosted by the Nigerian Bar Association Ikeja branch with the theme Integrity Deficit in the Justice Sector, Wither the Legal Profession. Our judiciary correspondent Shola Shoele has the rest of the story.
The 22nd anniversary of Fawehimism in honor of late legal icon Chief Gani Fawemi attracted judges, lawyers, representatives of civil society, students, and many others.
This is a manual, and if we go by it, the country will be in good state.
The host chairman, the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Ikeja branch, and the president of the bar are unanimous in their view that this annual lecture not only serves as a way of keeping alive the ideals and legacy of the man fondly referred to as the senior advocate of the masses, but it's also an opportunity for stakeholders in the justice system to look inward and ask the necessary questions about values, courage, and professional responsibility.
Chief Gani Fawemi believed and lived by the creed that the law is not neutral in the face of injustice. For him, the legal profession was not merely a career, but a platform for social engineering, moral resistance, and nation building. His brand of advocacy, known as Fawemism, was anchored on integrity, courage, self-sacrifice, and absolute loyalty to the oppressed. It is therefore no incident that the NBA Ikeja continues to celebrate this legacy at a time when public confidence in institutions, including the justice sector, is under severe strain.
And when we talk about integrity deficiency, it's not about whether our judges are corrupt or not, but about the fact that some of our judgments don't inspire confidence, that people go away, do not go away, believing that justice has been done. It's about the fact that some of our judges and our lawyers keep such relationships and give the impression that it's not about the law and the facts, but it's about who you know. And all of us are afraid of talking. But like I tell people, one day this house will fall and collapse on our heads, and we'll have nothing to stand for, and the society will lose the respect it has for us.
The chairperson of the lecture, the keynote speaker, and some other senior lawyers present speak on the theme, Integrity Deficiency in the Justice Sector, Wither the Legal Profession. They also give some recommendations for restoring integrity.
Now, there is a bill presently before the National Assembly to reorganize the entire judiciary, to limit appeals that go to the appellate courts, to structure the administration of justice to make for ease. This bill must be passed with immediate effect. Now, unless the Bar Association helps and keeps its eye on this bill, it will be watered down, and then nobody will have any excuse whatsoever to complain about the pace of justice in the judiciary.
The restoration of integrity in the judicial sector, as well as in every other sector of our polity, begins with personal responsibility and conviction. It starts with every member of the bench and bar recognizing the sacredness of his or her role and the weight of responsibility he or she bears as a custodian of the law.
We must continue to challenge excesses of government, illegalities in government, and of course, impunity in our country. And that is the only way we can celebrate Ghana on an occasion like this.
Other speakers also gave suggestions for ethical leadership within the legal profession. One of the high points of the event was the presentation of an award and cash gift to the recipient of the Maiden Gani Fawemi Integrity Prize, retired Justice Adiza Ali Jos, who earned national acclaim in 2019 for boldly refusing a $200,000 bribe to influence the judgment of an election petition. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television News.
In the meantime, female lawyers under the Global Association of Female Attorneys are urging the federal government and relevant authorities to take immediate action against those responsible for the murder of the former treasurer of the FCT branch of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ms. Mediatrics Chigbo. Speaking at the night of tribute in honor of the late lawyer, the international president of the association, Ms. Chinelo Irele, described the death of the lawyer on January 5th this year as a tragic symbol of the worsening insecurity in the country, especially in the Federal Capital Territory. She said Nigerians deserve a leadership that prioritizes peaceful existence and human life.
It's a solemn gathering as family, friends, colleagues and members of the legal profession gathered for a night of tribute in honor of the pioneer treasurer of the FCT branch of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ms. Mediatrix Chigbo, who was killed in a robbery involving private or commercial looking vehicles. Tributes rendered described the late legal practitioner as a dedicated lawyer whose loss has left a deep void in the profession and amongst those who knew her personally.
Her career was defined by fierce dedication to advocacy, a tireless pursuit of truth, and an unwavering belief that justice should be accessible to all, especially the female gender, regardless of power or privilege.
A death will not be in vain. And as my sister, the princess, joins the angels and joins the saint, may this grief be transformed into action that will give us a better Nigeria.
Her sister, a former president of the Guild of Corporate Online Publishers, Ms. Maureen Chigbo, noted discrepancies between the suspect's statements and the actual facts, highlighting contradictions that must be resolved during the investigation.
And when I went through the autopsy report, the house, the address of her home was not where she lived. Remember, I told you that I sent her address to the commander. And I discussed with the OC leader, why is the address on the CTC copy of the coroner's report wrong and not my sister's address? So it doesn't matter. And I ask you lawyers, please answer me. Does it really not matter that the address on the CTC copy of the coroner's report of Mediatrics Chigbo, who was murdered in cold blood by kidnappers, that the address and that is not her address and that it does not matter? You answer me, please. Does it not matter?
The association is also reiterating its call for justice, stressing that the recurrence of violent crime without accountability undermines confidence in state institutions.
Mediatrice is no more with us today because Nigerian government could not protect her. And it's really unfortunate that they neglect this priority that will make human beings, citizens of Nigeria, to be happy. And what are they? Why do they swear to the allegiance of the Constitution to protect us? But what we see is about campaign. What we see is about changing parties. What we see is about individual protection. What we see is priorities of those that should be the servants of the citizens of Nigeria.
The police has arrested 3 suspects in connection to the incident, and her friends and family are calling for a transparent and timely response from government to resolve the incident and restore public trust in Nigeria's security system. From Abuja, Victoria Longjohn, Channels Television News.
As part of ongoing efforts to decongest correctional facilities in Lagos State, the Chief Justice Kazim Alogba has ordered the deportation of 2 Chadians and release of 18 inmates after they were found to have met the legal requirements. He gave the approval, freeing the inmates from the Nigerian Correctional Service under a special session organized for their release.
Gathered here are judges, magistrates and other staff of the Lagos State Judiciary, as well as lawyers, police officers, officials of the Correctional Service, representatives of non-governmental organizations, inmates eligible for pardon, as well as many other relevant stakeholders. It's the 2026 decongestion exercise of correctional facilities in the state, and first, the Comptroller of the Nigeria Correctional Service, Lagos State Command, Mr. Daramola George, discloses that custodial centers in the state currently hold more than 8,000 inmates.
As the Controller of Corrections, overseeing the custodial facility in Lagos State with over 8,000 inmates in our capacity of less than 4,000, I can attest to the challenges we face in maintaining safe, secure, and rehabilitative environments. Overcrowding has been a persistent issue, impacting not only the safety of staff and inmates, but also the prospect of successful rehabilitation. Today's event is a testament to our directive resolve to address these challenges head-on.
The Chief Judge of Lagos takes his time to address the issue of why the state has not conducted the decongestion exercise since the last one held 2 years ago.
It is not an exercise about the whims and caprices of the Chief Judge. It is an exercise dictated by law with clear provisions, with clear stipulations as to when you should do it and who are qualified to do it. And if we do not have a reasonable number of people who are qualified, then there's no reason for us to embark on the exercise.
According to the Chief Judge, those qualified for release are defendants who have been convicted of misdemeanors and who have largely served out their time and behaved well in custody, and also those who have been in custody for such a time that even if they were convicted for the offenses they were detained, they would have served out their jail terms.
My Lord, I present Abe Adegboyega.
One after the other, inmates who meet these criteria were presented by the Prison Decongestion Committee to the Chief Judge, who interrogates the inmates, and those qualified were released. In all, 18 inmates comprising 4 female and 14 male were released. Among those released are 2 Chadians detained for armed robbery, but who were never taken to court. Considering the nature of their offences, the Chief Judge specifically directed that they be handed over to the Lagos State Controller of the Nigeria Immigration Service for immediate deportation to their country. The Chief Judge, however, refused to release some other inmates after reviewing and considering the nature of their offences.
All the participants in the meal of the administration of justice should jar. In the new year, we're going to see more of our efforts in ensuring that criminal justice administration will improve in Lagos. And one of them is that magistrates must give very liberal terms. Where the law says you can give bail, yes, you have a discretion, but you must know that the underlying factor is that you want to ensure that this person comes back for his trial. So you don't impose conditions that will be so difficult to fulfill that will make the person stay in detention.
While addressing the freed inmates, the chief judge warned them to seize the opportunity to embrace change, reform, and sin no more.
In part two, after the break, Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, inaugurates new NHIA prototype building in Imo State. That's in a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Stakeholders in the justice sector gather in Lagos insist there is need to commit to immediate institutional reforms to tackle issues of widespread corruption and integrity deficit in the sector. Female lawyers appeal to the federal government to fish out those responsible for the murder of the former treasurer of the Abuja branch of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mediatrics, Chigbo. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, and his defense counterpart, General Christopher Musa, agreed to work together to tackle Nigeria's security challenges. U.S. President Donald Trump announces plans to impose a 10% tariff on all or any goods exported to the United States from the UK, Denmark, and other European countries. The Plateau State government says security across the state remains a priority, pledging continued logistic and strategic support for the Nigerian Army and other security agencies. The State Commissioner for Information, Ms. Joyce Renap, stated this when she represented Governor Caleb Mufwang at the 2025 West African Social Activities WASA of the 3rd Division of the Nigerian Army in Jos, the Plateau State capital. Our correspondent, Pierre Sidabank, has this report.
The 2025 West African Social Activities WASA, holding at the headquarters of the 3rd Division of the Nigerian Army in Jos, is marked with full military protocol, beginning with the inspection of the Guard of Honor by the Special Guest of Honor. The annual event featured cultural displays, traditional cuisines, tug-of-war contest, and cultural dances, highlighting unity, discipline, and comradeship within the military community. Representing Governor Caleb Mufwang, the Commissioner for Information, Joyce Renap, said the peace currently enjoyed in Plateau State is the outcome of deliberate collaboration between government and security agencies.
This event is more than just a social gathering. It is a strong demonstration of enduring bond, mutual trust, and cordial relationship that exists between the people of Plateau State and the Nigerian Army. The prevailing peace and stability we enjoy today are products of the tireless sacrifices and unwavering commitment of our security agencies.
The General Officer commanding 3 Division, who is also the Commander Operation Enduring Peace, Brigadier General Folusho Onilola, described the activities as a long-standing military tradition that promotes unity, cultural pride, while marking the end of the Army's annual training cycle. He noted that the event also reinforces cooperation among security agencies and host communities.
Events such as this remind us of the importance of togetherness, resilience, and mutual support. Peace and security remain priceless assets, and sustaining them requires collective effort. I therefore commend the heads of security agencies present for their unwavering support and collaboration, which have contributed immensely to our operational successes.
Highlights of the ceremony includes the decoration of outstanding soldiers for their exemplary service, the lowering of the flag, and the lighting of the campfire, symbolizing the formal close of the 2025 military social calendar. Percy Dawang, Channels Television News.
To form renewed synergy in the fight against insecurity, the Ministry of Interior and Defense have agreed on a new inter-ministerial committee. This was made known in Abuja when the Defense Minister paid a courtesy visit to his colleague in the Interior Ministry. The Minister of Interior, Mr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, said an effective data management is crucial to enhance the efforts of security agencies.
We see things happening everywhere, and we feel that our country should also be like that. And I can see some of the innovations that have been created, from the immigrations, from the civil defense, from the correctional facility, from the fire service, and all other aspects. We want to say thank you for standing very strong. I know there will be challenges. So many people don't want it. Change is something that people want to fight for their own benefits. But we have remained resolute. And I feel that we share so much in common between the armed forces, the Ministry of Defense, and the Ministry of Interior. We're building a legacy of an unprecedented interministerial cooperation for a more secure Nigeria. Lastly, we discussed the issue of a database. The efforts, for me, everybody that is operating here should come under Ministry of Interior, because that's the only way we can have that synergy. The NIMC, the MPS, and everybody, so that the data can be holistic instead of having different working in silos. I think it makes it difficult.
We understand the fact that security is it's a combination of internal and external, and an inefficient internal security architecture will be a stretched military. That's the truth. Because, I mean, if the internal security agencies do the needful and they are up to task, the military will be able to face what they need to do. And as I've always said, our national security architecture stands on the tripod of intelligence, internal security, and the military. It's a tripod. And understanding that fact means that we are twins, because the input, the national intelligence is the input to what we do, both of us. And of course, we're like twins, and we have no choice but to work together. And I sincerely believe, just as you said, I can't re-echo it loud enough, that working in silos would never be in the interest of this nation. This is not a time for us to be territorial in interior, neither is it a time for defense to be territorial.
Security matters. Residents of Durai Chiranchi quarters in Kano State were thrown into shock this afternoon after hoodlums reportedly broke into a residential home and brutally killed a woman and her 6 children. The incident occurred at the residence of Haruna Bashir, where the victims, Fatima Abubakar, and her 6 children were attacked by assailants who allegedly used dangerous weapons. The neighbors were said to have raised the alarm after discovering the bodies of the victims, prompting panic and grief across the community. Reports say the victims were rushed to the Murtala Mohammed Specialist Hospital, Kano, where doctors confirmed them dead. Following the incident, the Kano State Police Command confirmed receiving a distress call at about 12:10 p.m. A statement issued by the Police Public Relations Officer, CSP Abdullahi Kiyawa, said the Commissioner of Police immediately mobilized a team of officers to the area. It added that a comprehensive investigation has been ordered to track down and arrest the perpetrators, with assurances that those responsible for the heinous act would be brought to book. Troops of 6th Brigade, Nigerian Army Operation World Stroke, have foiled a robbery incident and rescued 2 victims in Wukari local government area of Taraba State. Acting on a distress call that criminals had blocked the road and were attacking civilians, the troops responded quickly and decisively to the scene. The suspects fled into the forest area after sighting the troops, abandoning their victims and escaping with their motorcycles. A statement issued by the Public Relations Officer, 6th Brigade, Lieutenant Umar Muhammad, says the victims, who were unconscious at the time, were immediately taken to the Federal University Teaching Hospital, Wukari, for urgent medical attention. Following the incident, troops have intensified robust patrols within the general area to prevent any criminal activities and reassure residents and road users of their safety. To health issues now, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, alongside the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Kelechi Ohire, has commissioned the NHIA prototype building in Owerri, Imo State. Speaking at the event, the minister described the commissioning as a significant milestone in the nation's drive to strengthen the health insurance system and expand financial protection for citizens. He noted that the new office symbolizes the federal government's commitment to ensuring that more Nigerians can access quality health care without financial hardship. Professor Pate stressed the importance of sustained progress in both access and coverage, noting that effective collaboration between the federal and state governments are crucial to success.
It's so vital that we continue to make progress in expanding access, but also expanding coverage for all Nigerians. And I want to commend the Imo State government and the governor in particular for his incredible leadership in driving expansion of health insurance coverage in Imo State, complementing the vision of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the federal government's own policy direction.
This was a project that started by previous NHIA chief executives, and with glory to God, today we have finally come to a point of completion so that the NHIA staff can have a befitting location to actually work to the benefit of all Nigerians.
The Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, has donated 5 ambulances to public health facilities in Ogoniland to strengthen emergency medical response. The intervention is aimed at improving patient transfer and referral services across communities. The handover ceremony was held in LMA local government area of Rivers State. Our correspondent, Deborah May Fabersima, has this report.
5 newly acquired ambulances are handed over by the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, to public health facilities serving Ogoni communities. The beneficiaries are the Bori Zonal Hospital, Taraba General Hospital, Eleme General Hospital, Borno General Hospital, and the Plateau Primary Health Care Center. HYPREP says the ambulances are expected to strengthen emergency response and ensure timely transfer of patients to facilities where appropriate care is available.
It is important to note that this intervention is in line with the recommendations of the UNEP report, which emphasized the need to address public health challenges in the area. The report also recognized that environmental restoration must go hand in hand with measures to protect and strengthen public health systems.
Receiving the ambulances on behalf of the Rivers State government, the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Adeze Ore, says the intervention will significantly improve referral pathways and access to specialized medical care.
Hydrocarbon pollution remediation goes beyond the environmental. And when we talk about environmental hazards, there are often unintended consequences that are missed. And those consequences occur in the health and well-being of the people. HYPREP's focus on supporting the health sector goes beyond equipping and furnishing of health facilities to building responsive and resilient systems.
Meanwhile, before the ambulance handover, the Commissioner for Health had paid an inspection visit to the ongoing 40-bed Bonwa Cottage Hospital in Kano, local government area of Rivers State, to assess the level of work done on the facility being executed by HYPREP.
What HYPREP has done and demonstrated today is showing that even beyond the pollution remediation, they acknowledge acknowledge and they recognize that there are unintended consequences for the health and well-being of the people. And that is why they have demonstrated with these very well-meaning public health interventions.
With the Bua Cottage Hospital and the Ogoni Specialist Hospital now nearing completion, HIPREP says the addition of functional ambulances will ensure faster response to emergencies and improve the chances of saving lives across Ogoni communities. Deborah Meyer for Berasima, Channels Television News.
Securities and Exchange Commission cut fund managers' 10% AUM capital rule to a more practical level following industry feedback. That's in a moment. Do stay with us. Welcome back. As the All Progressives Congress, APC, continues its membership e-registration, the party is promising to fully digitalize membership for youths of the party. This was disclosed to journalists in Lagos by the APC National Youth Leader, Mr. Dayo Israel. The National Youth Leader also revealed plans by the party to register members in the diaspora and appeal to students and young party faithful to get registered as well.
Today, the national chairman just sent the data of our current membership base based on the registration that we have done as of this morning, and it was about 2-point-something million. And then from that data, we know how many women. The women are about 800 and something thousand. The men are at about 1-point-something million. So with that data, the chairman was able to tell us and say we need to get more women to vote. So we're digitalizing our membership process. Let me show it to you. This is the current status as of today. 2.212 million members registered on our platform. 1.345793 male, 866,744 female. So what we are doing now is digitalizing our membership. So it's hybrid. You have to go to your ward because we need to know that the people in your ward know you, because election is local. Everybody all over the world who want to be part of our party will be able to register to be part of the APC. And so we're going to have registration point not just in Nigeria but in other parts of the diaspora as well. We have chapters in other countries from the UK, the US and Canada, and so every Nigerian all over the world will get a chance to be a member of the largest political party in Africa, the All Progressive Congress. And the youth wing are also going to start our own e-registration very soon for people under the age of 40, and we're actually going to create another category for those 40 to 45. Our own will be fully digital. You won't need to go to your local constituency really, and it will be on www.joinapc.ng. And we're working on that platform, but that's membership of the youth wing.
Staying with politics, the Rivers State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has strongly criticized the decision of the State House of Assembly to proceed with the impeachment process against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, describing the move as a dangerous legislative coup that could destabilize the party and state. In a press statement issued recently by the party spokesperson, Darlington Wauju, the APC said it had carefully reviewed recent developments at the Assembly and expressed deep concern over what it termed a choreographed legislative overreach. The party warned that Rivers State cannot afford actions that undermine collective political interests and governance, lamenting that some lawmakers, including APC members, appear to be acting against the growth and stability of the party. The APC also appealed to its national leadership to urgently intervene by activating internal party mechanisms in order to prevent what it described as an embarrassing and damaging situation for the party. In the meantime, members of the United Opposition Movement are leading a campaign to vote the ruling All Progressives Congress out of office in 2027. Speaking at a news conference in Abuja, the spokesperson of the group, Mr. Shedrack Udubai, picked holes in the 2026 budget. The movement also called on opposition parties to draw lessons from the 2023 general elections and form a stronger, united front ahead of 2027.
Opposition unity is no longer a political luxury. It is now a national duty. Because the fragmentation of the opposition is a gift to the failing status quo. So we, the members of the United Opposition Movement, acknowledge and applaud the significant steps taken by the key opposition leaders to coalesce under the banner of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, a platform that provides the necessary and national spread and the legal structure to mount a credible challenge in 2027. The analysis of the 2023 vote confirms clearly, by simple mathematical truths, that a united opposition would have secured victory. To ignore this lesson is to betray the hopes of millions of Nigeria. Therefore, we, the United Opposition Movement, hereby make this clarion call. We urge the leaders of the ADC and all its allied forces to formally adopt a joint presidential and vice presidential candidates using our strongest options in the ticket, and not forgetting that a very strong personality for Director General for the upcoming campaigns in 2027. We urge the followers of these different opposition groups to refrain from polarizing the polity with divisive statements anchored on ethnicity and religion.
Goza, the epicenter of Boko Haram insurgency in Borno State, is gradually witnessing relative peace. The senator representing Borno South at the National Assembly, Senator Ali Ndume, who made this known during the All Progressives Congress e-registration exercise, also used the occasion to interact with youths and stakeholders on peaceful coexistence.
Waza, the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency, is gradually recording relative peace, with commercial activities coming alive and many displaced by the conflict returning home. The senator representing Borno South, Senator Ali Ndume, says many more internally displaced are expected back this year.
You can see, we came, water has been resettled already, courtesy of His Excellency the Executive Governor, and we are opening up. Ambagda is going, Ubara and other places. Inshallah, we are hoping that even in the Goza East, that is Gava, Agapala, Chikede, the Kuhum, all these places, inshallah, before the end of the rainy season, as Gashia people are already mobilized, Kirawa is already mobilized, and in short, you know that under the leadership of Professor Babagana Umarazo, 13 villages, including Goza itself, have been resettled. Alhamdulillah, none of the local government in Borno State have witnessed this.
Senator Ali Ndume, alongside the Director General of the National Women Development Center, Dr. Asabe Velita Bashir, are here for the All Progressives Congress e-registration exercise. According to them, despite the insecurity challenge, Waza, being the second largest local government area in Borno State, is in the forefront of supporting the All Progressives Congress at both the national and state levels.
You can see that my local government is APC controlled, and all of us here, in one way or the other, we live on politics. And if you live in politics, then your voter's card is your strength. Therefore, I call on all my people in Goza local government to make sure that they move with their voter's card and their membership card. That is the only identity that will show that you are loyal to the party that is the winning party, and that you belong to the winning party.
All here are stakeholders to flag off our e-registration for the party. And not only that, most of us are also here to revalidate our voters card. We are here to also encourage our people. And then we are also here, we had a town hall meeting before we came here to interact with our people on 3 things that affect our society: drug abuse, youth exuberance and antisocial vices, and then also we are talking about the major challenge that we have of security, which has gone down drastically.
With more displaced persons returning and the mobilization for the e-registration ongoing, the APC in Waza is hopeful about delivering more votes in the coming elections.
The Zamfara state government is taking decisive steps to address the growing challenges of land degradation, deforestation, erosion, and the impact of excessive mining through the formulation of an integrated landscape management policy. Speaking at the two-day technical workshop regarding the policy, the Permanent Secretary in the State Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, Mr. Arilwanu Musa, said the policy is part of efforts to strengthen environmental resilience and promote sustainable land use across the state.
Across Zamfara state, land degradation, deforestation, erosion, and unregulated mining continue to pose serious threats to livelihoods, agricultural productivity, and environmental sustainability. These environmental challenges have raised concerns among policymakers and development partners, prompting renewed efforts to adopt a coordinated and sustainable approach to land and natural resource management.
From the name of this policy,
to address the situation, the Zamfara state government, in collaboration with the Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes project, has commenced a review process aimed at developing an integrated landscape management policy for the state.
The first one is to strengthen institutional and governance frameworks for effective and efficient implementation of integrated landscape management intervention. And the next one, we have to enhance livelihoods, food security, and inclusive economic opportunities.
The Zamfara state government is formulating a policy to provide a coordinated framework for restoring degraded lands, improving ecosystem services, and strengthening climate resilience across Zamfara state.
This policy comes at a right time. If you look at it, Zamfara state, the environment so much degraded as a result of so many activities. The mining activities, and the issue of this deforestation of our forests.
The state government is working with the World Bank-financed Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes to strengthen institutional capacity and lay the foundation for effective policy implementation.
As contained in it's an integrated landscape management, so it encompasses, environment issue, the land degradation, the issue of water, both the surface and underground water, and also the issue of these illegal mining activities.
According to the state government, the integrated landscape management policy, when fully developed and implemented, will play a critical role in reversing environmental degradation, promoting sustainable land use, and enhancing resilience to climate-related risks in the state.
Conversations on Nigeria's new tax law is still prominent as individuals and groups look to highlight sections which will affect them. The latest is the manufacturers in Lagos, as the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria invited the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, to explain the gains for their businesses.
The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is holding a hybrid stakeholders engagement with the theme From Legislative Assembly to Factory Floor, what the new tax law means for Nigerian manufacturers. It's another opportunity for the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, to highlight parts of the new tax law.
As a manufacturer, you spend a lot of money on assets. Your sector, for many of you, is capital intensive. You buy equipment, you buy plants, machinery, you buy vehicles, from transport vehicles to other things, even official cars. Those inputs, your assets, as well as you pay for services, technical services, audits, consulting. You also pay for softwares. So even things that are not physical, you pay for them and they carry VAT. Under the old system, those VAT are your costs to bear. Under the new law, those VAT calls are recoverable 100%. You get the money back.
While the manufacturers are excited about the benefits of the law, they are concerned about getting a harmonized front for proper implementation.
Successful tax policies will require full alignment between the states, the local governments, and the federal government. So the sub-nationals must be carried along. And happily, like he announced, we now have at least 10 states that have passed laws that are in full alignment with the federal law.
One of the things that is obvious in any good tax law is not just to really impose taxes, it's to do a win-win. Okay? If you create an enabler, have an enabler that makes us to do more business, then definitely you're going to get tax on those businesses that you do. So you get much more money on the larger volume of business that you do than getting higher percentage or whatever money you want to get on little business.
The manufacturers believe that an efficient tax system would ease their work and accelerate the achievement of a 10.2% contribution to the nation's gross domestic product in 2026.
Nigeria's Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has clarified its newly announced capital requirements for fund and portfolio managers, correcting an earlier provision that suggested operators must hold 10% of their assets under management as regulatory capital. The regulator says the requirement is 0.1% and not 10%, following widespread concern and pushback from industry stakeholders over the potential impact of the initial figure on asset management firms. The clarification, confirmed by the SEC to financial news outlets, is expected to be formally outlined by the Commission's Director General at a stakeholder briefing scheduled for next week. The Nigeria Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System for Agricultural Lending, Ministerial PLC, and Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GIP, have entered a strategic partnership designed to strengthen agricultural financing in order to enhance support for farmers. The collaboration was announced during a courtesy visit by GIP's National Program Manager, Mr. Ibrahim Baba, to the NISREL's Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Sahad Hamidu, in the nation's capital, Abuja. The partnership aims to reinforce risk management frameworks to expand the reach and impact of the Farmer Money Initiative, a key component of GIP that provides microcredit to smallholder farmers and entrepreneurs. Let's find out what's happening in the world of sports. Kelly Egiga has details.
Hello and welcome to Sports News. Let's begin in Morocco, where Nigeria Super Eagles secured the bronze medal at the 2025 AFCON after beating the Pharaohs of Egypt 4-2 on penalties at the Stade Mohammed V in Casablanca. After 90 minutes of grueling action ending in a goalless stalemate, the match moved to the dreaded penalty shootout to decide the podium finish. Nigerian goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali emerged as the hero of the night, producing 2 saves from 4 kicks. Ademola Lookman was calm under immense pressure as he scored Nigeria's 5th sport kick to ensure victory. Well, more updates now from Morocco's tournament's hosts. Morocco and Senegal are set for a historic collision at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium in Rabat on Sunday. That's tomorrow. The Atlas Lions, led by coach Walid Regragou, are aiming to end a 50-year title drought and secure their first continental trophy since 1976. Standing in their way is a formidable Senegal side appearing in the 3rd AFCON final in the last 4 editions. The final is being billed as a battle of tactical discipline and star power. And to club football now, Manchester United defeated Manchester City 2-0 in Michael Carrick's first game as interim manager, dealing a huge blow to the local rivals' Premier League title hopes. The win at Old Trafford, courtesy of second-half goals from Brian Mbeumo and Patrick Doku, lifts United to 4th on the table and leaves City 7 points behind league leaders Arsenal. Well, let's bring you up to speed now with other Premier League matches played earlier today. Chelsea defeated Brentford 2-0, courtesy of goals from João Pedro and Cole Palmer to give Liam Rosenau his first league win as the manager of the Blues. Elsewhere, Lucas Mcha came off the bench to score in 91st minute winners. A dominant Leeds United ended Fulham's 6-game unbeaten run, I should say, in other matches. Marcus Edwards scored a second-half equaliser. Liverpool were held to a frustrating draw by struggling Burnley at Anfield. Brian Brobbey scored a second-half winner as Sunderland recovered from a goal down to beat Crystal Palace 2-1. Callum Wilson's stoppage time winner gave West Ham United a dramatic victory at Spurs. In the last game of the day, league leaders Arsenal were held to a goalless draw by Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. Well, big games are for big moments. That's Sports News Tonight. I'm Kelly Gigas. Back to Melinda.
Thanks, Kelly. On the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced plans to impose a 10% tariff on all or any goods exported to the United States from the UK, Denmark, and other European countries. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage says Trump's tariffs over Greenland would hurt the United Kingdom. In a post on Truth Social, President Trump says the tariffs set to begin on February 1st will remain in place until such a time when a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland.
One after another, I called Germany. No, we will not do that. I said, no, we're going to put a 25% tariff, which is, by the way, about 7 times more than they would have to pay by raising their drug, like 7 times. This wasn't like a little bit more, 7 times more. And I may do that for Greenland, too. I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security. So I may do that. I'll give you a little, I'll take you out of the, in fact, that'll end up being the story. But actually, this is a much bigger story because we're reducing healthcare by numbers that you haven't seen.
Meanwhile, citizens of Denmark and Greenland have reacted with thousands hitting the streets of Danish cities, including the capital, Copenhagen, as well as in the Greenland capital, Nuuk. The rallies coincide with a visit to Copenhagen by a delegation from the U.S. Congress. Its leader, Democratic Senator Chris Coons, described Trump's rhetoric as not constructive. Greenland is sparsely populated with a lot of resources, and its location between North America and the Arctic makes it well placed for early warning systems in the event of missile attacks and for monitoring vessels in the region. President Trump has previously said Washington would get the territory the easy way or the hard way, an apparent reference to buying the island or taking it by force. And the main news again. Stakeholders in the justice sector gathered in Lagos, where they insisted on the need to commit to immediate institutional reforms to tackle issues of widespread corruption and integrity deficit in the sector. And also today, female lawyers have appealed to the federal government to fish out those responsible for the murder of the former treasurer of Abuja branch of the Nigeria Bar Association, Mediatrics, Chigbo. And that's the news at 10 tonight. I'm Melinda Kinlami on behalf of the team. Good night.